What I'd like to show you today is how to make a little corner guide. This can be helpful when cutting the cloth at the corners of a board or a case. On this sample board you can see that when we cut the corner off it's about 45 degrees, and that little distance there between the corner of the board and where you cut the cloth is quite crucial. For a 2mm board like this example, that distance should be 3mm. If this was a 3mm board, that distance should be about 4.5mm. Essentially it's 1.5 times the thickness of the board. So how do you get that? A professional bookbinder or experienced bookbinder would just do this by hand. Just through experience they'd know where to cut it and just clip it quite simply with scissors like so. However, it's sometimes easier, quicker and more accurate if you use a little guide. However, you can buy guides. These are a couple that I've got, just made out of plastic. One's for 3mm boards, one's for 2mm boards, and essentially it's this distance here that is the important bit. However, these are, what, I don't know, £6, £7, £8 each, something like that. But you can make them and they cost nothing and they're just as good. So I'm going to just show you how to do that. This is what we're going to make. So it's just made out of a couple of pieces of scrap card. This is 2mm board, can be 3mm, whatever you've got really. So approximately in the centre of this I'm going to just draw a line and use something that's a right angle, a set square or a piece of board or something. Positioned evenly so the point is on that line like so, and just draw that on. There we go. And I'm going to cut that out, so just with a ruler and a craft knife. Like so. So we're now looking at this this little gap just here. As I say, I'm going to make this for a 2mm book board, so that gap needs to be 3mm. So I'm just going to mark where 3mm is on there, and it's going to be there. So I'm going to cut that off at that point. Like so. Now essentially you could just use it like this. It would actually just go around your corner like that, and that's the angle that you cut off. The problem of course is that this is very weak just here, so all I'm going to do is just strengthen that by putting another piece of card on top. So just with a little bit of PVA. Doesn't really matter what size this card is, as I say, it's just to strengthen the thing really. Let's put that on there, line up with the top, like so. Okay. And you can trim this and so on to make it whatever size you want, but essentially that's it. Really simple to make, and to use it, it just goes on top of your board. You can use your knife directly against the edge of it to cut it off like that. Of course the good thing about this is you get that distance exactly right every time, and that means that when you are folding over, you get the correct little overlap just here, which you push in with the point of your folder or your fingernail or something, and then the forwards goes down. You've got a perfect perfect corner every time. So it's a useful little tool. It isn't essential, but it can be useful, particularly if you're doing a lot of corners, a lot of cases, for example, and it costs nothing. So you don't have to go and buy one off the internet or anywhere. You can just make them yourself, and you can make a variety with different distances here depending on the thickness of the board that you're cutting. Just a useful quick little tool that you may wish to make.